Just look at the two dogs after being bathed lately. They just hung on the front of the garden door, the Vichy house. They don't usually lay down there, but I'm so surprised having to find out that they're there. The mother and the daughter. The white one is the mother Shake, and the daughter is the brown one, Paige. Look at it. Paige will quickly notice you if even you are just far away, because this dog is very how do I say it in English? Very clingy dog. She's a very clingy dog. She's a different kind of clingy one. A different type of a very clingy dog. Paige! Paige! They haven't been baited for 1 month. Baited. They haven't been bait for 1 month. Paige, 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 Paige. She's very clingy. I still have to feed them. It's their for their food. So I didn't buy for their I didn't buy the plate for their food because they usually damage it. These dogs are they look fragile, but they are very they are so messy dogs. They just look very weak, but they are very strong. They're already mixed breed of Asongkali or Askal, but they're hybrid. How shall I say it? But their bloodline is Dachshund and Chinese Pekingese. Dachshund. That smaller dwarfish Dachshund and small Pekingese. Actually, it's the mother of this one has hairy, very birdy face, hairy face. And you can see its eyes. And the great grandmother of this one is like a puppy size, very small one. Mix of Chinese Pekingese and Dachshund. Paige. I'm here at the door of the Vichy house. This dog is very clingy. Palaygon kaayo. Palaygon kini Irwani. She's very adorable when she is still not having this kind of fracture in her spine. I think somebody whip on it on her back. And at the time that our house was being robbed, just by, I think that was summer. that time. So she's been suffering this state for almost maybe 7 months. But she is trying to cope and trying to make her not experience the pain so much. Like, I feed her a lot. She's a big eater. She has a big appetite ever since she got this fracture in her bones. And since from lying down, from keeping on laying down, she got her wounds from being, how do you call those wounds, from being bed rest, from keeping on laying down. So her legs, the one of her leg is, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of difficulty on walking because of the wounds. It's not healing, and there are many ticks trying to eat on the wounds also. See, she's having many like this when she's not able to take bath. So it is very recommended that she will have bath every once a week. But I'm very busy that sometimes it gets to 1 month to 2 months. She has a very soft skin and soft hair. It just looks like it's hard and spiky, but it's not spiky. It's very soft. So the ticks really likes to bit on it. And her mom is not so soft. It's soft, but hers is much softer. This one also, her ticks, the lice will stay in her tail. For Paige, mostly it will stay here because she got a softer back of the neck and shoulder. And this one, this used to be a curly tail like that, very curly, 2 times curl, and she just bit it because it's so itchy. Much of the lice stayed here also. Until now, she keeps on beating it. See, it's not cured yet. It has wounds. You can see it. Wait, see, she keeps on beating it still. So for now, this is my vlog. I'll follow on the Ouija garden soon because the malunggay that I planted lately on the high tide and wasn't able to survive because I overwatered it. But it took it 1 month to it's supposed to live. That malunggay I just planted during the high tide because it's supposed to be planted right away upon the day being cut. But I dip it on water for 4 days. It elapsed to 4 days, supposed to be 3 days only. I think the tip has gotten a bit rotten, and when I planted it 11 a.m. and it is also high tide, but it is best. It is not really good planting any plants on almost lunch or like beyond 8 o'clock in the morning. Much better earlier, like 6 to 7 o'clock, because 8 is also a bit hot. The place where I put it, as of everybody who saw the other vlog, on the high tide, low tide, that I placed the fire, the fire soil media on the spot where there is no so much exposure of the sun. I thought it would be okay to plant any time of the day, as long as it is high tide, because the sun won't be able to get on the plant. But I think the main reason that it didn't survive is that I overwatered it, and it took it 1 month to turn into brown stems. So it did not totally became brown, the whole of it, but the middle is still green. But if the tip is brown and rotten, and the base is brown and rotten and the tip is brown, that would mean it is already a dead trunk. So that's it. I'll let you see on my next vlog about it. Okay, so I'll just make it just today. Show you the malunggay plant I lately just newly planted. Right. Also, I place it in this corner. This used to be the CR of this house. Here's the door, the entrance, and the CR. I put it here so that it won't be exposed to the sun. When I plant anything here, any time of the day, I thought that it will be able to survive, but I think I overwatered it. So since the sun can't get its way here, the soil seems to be wet all the time. So see, it has a brown tip, still green here. It's brown already and it's rotten. It's rotten already. Something is eating it. Something is already eating it. And this one also. This one is too much. The brown has already run longer part of the plant already. It's until here. Here it's still a bit green. It's not really green. It's darker. It's a bit like grayish green. So it's not anymore a sign of life, right? It's like being eaten already by the dead cells of the plant. It's getting rotten. So I planted here with it some chili. This is that longer pepper, chili pepper, the longer one. There's tomato also. It was included in the compost. I didn't separate the seeds, so it just grew there. Well, maybe I will replace it with another malunggay trunks, but I'll make sure I'll be able to bury it on an earlier time. I will not try to be a complacent planter. There's a malunggay here. There's an algbati or spinach here. Because I have two sets of spinach there and there. Because when we buy spinach from the market, it's not the same species. So I really love when having to taste different kinds of species of spinach, though I don't know what's the difference of them, but I can tell the difference in their taste. And here also the insulin. Our insulin, I really didn't too much didn't spend too much time of the insulin because it just grew by itself. It doesn't need a lot of care, but as you see, there are many eaten leaves because the worms are little worms just being hatched are usually being laid here, the eggs, and there are really a bunch of small worms, those hairy worms, those itchy ones. So I don't really go near here. And the new thing that I found out here is that it's been grown with another branch, or I think I'll just call this a branch or a stem. But the thing is, it has roots. Oh, see? This one also. Only those trunks that have flowered for a longer time. It's been so longer. I think that this is already 2 months. It is like this. It has no more petals. By 2 months, it will grow some of this kind of stems with roots. So these are transplantable, right? Because it has roots. So this is much better to be transplanted because you can get the roots without being touched or being damaged than having it pulled there on the main soil media, right? This is a herbal plant. It's very much growing taller because of the water tea that I applied to it. I just leave it like that. I don't take care of it so much because it's very it just responds so much with even just water. It's very nice to look at, but this is much better if there are no worms. And this, look at the bitter gourd. It already has its tendrils, but it hasn't climbed yet. It's weaker. It's not very much a fat bitter gourd because I didn't spoil it with too much water tea. Unlike the old bitter gourd, I spoiled it with plenty of water tea. But this one, I didn't spoil it so much. I didn't wet so much the soil media because I'm trying to see if it will not respond to when the time when I won't be able to water it. It will not try to look or like demand on the soil, on the water tea, because whenever I spoil a plant with water tea, when I miss on one day, it will try to demand and get stunted. So it's just the right or enough measure. So until here